"Where's Jeremy? Tell him to pick up the phone." The video call was answered by Rachel Stevens. I froze for a moment, but I quickly composed myself. Rachel, however, deliberately scanned the environment behind me. She pursed her lips into a sly smile. "Oh, Ms. Learn, you're in the new house, huh? The new bed is really soft. I've tried it out for you." I felt like I had lost all sense of gravity as my head started to buzz. I stared at the woman in the video. Speechless for a moment, Rachel's gaze swept across the sheets, her voice laced with pride. "The groom's pretty great too. I've tried him out for you as well." At that moment, I finally saw where she was. She was in a hotel room. That I forcefully swallowed my anger, trying to keep calm. That I asked again, "Where's Jeremy?" Rachel's eyes darted to the side deliberately, her face feigning concern. "Oh, Mr. Stone is working late, of course. He's very busy." Then I heard that all too familiar voice. "Rachel, come help me with my back." At that moment, I felt completely frozen. My mouth opened, but no words came out. "You're just trying to trick me into showering with you, you naughty man," Rachel teasingly said as she gave me a smug look before hanging up the call. Strength left my body, and I slid to the floor. I felt swallowed whole by anger and sorrow. I did not know how long I sat there before I chuckled bitterly and tossed the sheets into the trash. Tomorrow was supposed to be my wedding day with Jeremy Stone. I had been busy setting up the house while he shared a romantic bath with his assistant. That I knew Rachel wanted to ruin my wedding. She had succeeded. That I sent a message to Jeremy. "Jeremy Stone, we're done. The wedding's off." I did not need a tainted house, much less a tainted man. That I looked at the figurine of a couple in wedding attire kissing on the table. I threw it straight into the trash. That I smashed the framed wedding photo on the wall. That I destroyed the wedding room I had decorated myself until it was a complete wreck. That I texted my friends and family about the cancelled wedding, turned off my phone, and went home. That I in the silence, I forced myself not to think about all the years I had wasted on that pathetic excuse for a man. That I drank myself into oblivion, using alcohol to escape reality. The next morning, I was jolted awake by a furious pounding on the door. Jeremy Stone and his groomsmen stood outside, all suited up and looking absurdly proper. The bouquet in Jeremy's hand looked battered. Its petals had fallen apart. He looked at me, clearly disheveled and not fully awake, and snapped in frustration. "Fiona, are you out of your mind?" His twisted expression looked so ugly that I almost found it funny. That small laugh of mine only set him off further. He hurled the broken bouquet at the ground, yelling, "Do you even know what today is? It's our wedding day." I rubbed my eyes, deeply irritated from being woken up with a hangover, and my tone was sharp as I said, "Didn't I tell you we're not getting married? We're done, Jeremy. Do you not understand?" Jeremy's eyes were bloodshot as if he was desperately suppressing his anger. He finally shut his eyes tightly, gritting his teeth. "If you get dressed and come with me right now, I'll pretend none of this happened. I'll forgive you this once." How on earth did I give him the illusion that I was some lovesick fool? He thought I could not live without him because I took our relationship seriously. My gaze swept past the groomsmen behind him, who looked like they were enjoying the drama. "Jeremy Stone, you were the one who messed up. Do you want to stand here and discuss your relationship with Rachel Young? Get lost. We're done. Do you understand?" Jeremy froze for a second before his expression shifted. The arrogance disappeared from his face and was replaced with uncertainty. He avoided eye contact, but he did not leave. Instead, his tone softened. "You've misunderstood. It's my fault for not explaining things earlier. You can scold me or hit me later if you want. But today is our wedding day. It's the most important day of our lives. All our friends and family are waiting. Stop making a scene and come with me, please." He shook his head and smiled wryly. His eyes were earnest, as though I was the unreasonable one. That man could change his attitude in an instant. He was shameless and adaptable. The groomsmen looked at me disapprovingly. One of Jeremy's closest friends even stepped forward to plead with me. "Fiona, this isn't the time to throw a tantrum. After the wedding, you can do whatever you want." Perfect. Jeremy wanted to corner me with public pressure. Fine. I would play along. However, whatever happened next would be on him. I nodded. "All right. Wait here." After washing up, I threw on a simple dress and headed out. When Jeremy asked if I would go to get my makeup and dress ready, I refused. His face darkened, but he could not do anything about it. The hotel, Only his guests were present. Although unsure of what had happened, my friends and family already knew the wedding was cancelled. When I arrived in my casual outfit, the guests stared at me with subtle yet pointed looks. A few of his aunts could not hold back their criticism. How can you throw a tantrum and not show up for something as big as a wedding? You're lucky Jeremy's willing to tolerate this. Anyone else would have left you ages ago. Exactly. So many guests are here waiting. Why didn't you say earlier if you didn't want to get married? Alright, Fiona's here now, isn't she? Jeremy's mother grabbed my arm, pulling me toward the head table and motioning for me to sit down. Her expression remained composed, without a hint of dissatisfaction. She even smiled and asked, "We were all so worried when we couldn't reach you. Did Jeremy make you upset? Tell us and we'll take care of him for you." Jeremy's father, kind and gentle as always, said, "Yes, Fiona. We're all on your side." Jeremy's parents were wonderful people. If I had married Jeremy, there would have been no reason to fear issues with my in-laws. His mother was thoughtful and tolerant, and his father was equally kind and understanding. However, Jeremy had cheated on me. There was no way I could forgive that. I stayed silent for a moment. Jeremy's mom assumed I was still upset, so she spoke gently. "Fiona, listen to me. Go and get your makeup and get dressed. Later, I'll get Jeremy to apologize to you." "Yes, don't ruin this happy day," Jeremy's father said. I let out a long sigh. At that moment, I had planned to sit down with Jeremy's parents, explain everything, and resolve the situation peacefully. However, someone's arrival interrupted me. Rachel appeared in a flowing red chiffon dress, looking elegant and playful. She smiled slightly as her gaze provocatively met mine. Her flawless makeup stood in stark contrast to my bare face. The sound of her heels clicking rhythmically on the floor drew everyone's attention. "I hope I'm not late," she said sweetly but without any sincerity. "Ms. Lern, congratulations on your big day." I smiled as well. How fitting, her dress made her look like she was the real star of the wedding. Rachel walked straight to the head table and sat in Jeremy's seat, ignoring everyone else. A glimmer around her neck caught my attention as she bent to sit. I stared closer, and my already ice-cold heart sank once more. It was a diamond ring. It was my wedding ring, the one I had personally designed. There was only one in the entire world. It hung around Rachel's neck like some cheap trophy. If my wedding had gone as planned, I had no idea what kind of ring Jeremy would have given me. Whether he grabbed a random substitute or snatched one off his assistant's neck, it was absolutely revolting. I clenched my fists hard to stop myself from losing control. Anger was inevitable, but I refused to let it show. Just then, Jeremy entered the room with the wedding host in tow. "No wedding dress for the bride? Well, a red dress works too. It's very beautiful." The host mistook Rachel for the temperamental bride with her perfectly styled look and red gown. He nodded approvingly. Rachel glanced at me and waved her hands, pretending to look flustered. "Oh no, I'm not the bride today. Ms. Lern, please don't get upset." Jeremy strode toward me with a dark and irritated face. "Why haven't you gone to get your makeup done and changed yet? Do you even care about our wedding?" He reached out to grab me, but his mother quickly stepped in to stop him. "Jeremy, speak properly. Why are you being so harsh?" she scolded. Rachel took the opportunity to chime in. "Yes, Ms. Lern's just being a little stubborn. Jeremy, you should coax her. Don't let this ruin your wedding." Jeremy's frustration grew in front of all the guests. He pointed at me and snapped, "Fiona, there's a limit to how childish you can be. Get changed right now." Rachel stood up and gently patted Jeremy's arm to calm him down. Don't be mad. Let Ms. Lern change, and I'll help you greet the guests and apologize." I shot her a cold glare and said dryly, "Why don't you go ahead and finish the whole wedding while you're at it?" There was no point pretending anymore. It was clear that things would not get resolved peacefully that day. I made up my mind and raised my voice. "Sorry to make a spectacle of things, everyone. Please enjoy the food and drinks, but I'd like to officially announce that Jeremy Stone and I are breaking up today. Consider yourselves witnesses. How long are you going to keep this up?" Jeremy roared as his eyes blazed in anger. Rachel stomped her heel against the floor in mock distress, the sharp sound echoing through the room. She feigned innocence, looking at me with a concerned face. "Ms. Lern, you've misunderstood me. I only meant to help you greet the guests. Nothing more." What a classic act. I crossed my arms as I watched her performance with an icy gaze. Oh, you want to help me with greeting the guests? Didn't you also help me with the wedding night? Rachel looked pleased with my reaction. A flash of triumph crossed her eyes before she masked it with a look of deep grievance. Ms. Learn, you've got this all wrong. Smacked. I had no patience for her little act anymore. And I certainly was not interested in wasting another word on her. Fiona, what is wrong with you? Jeremy looked panicked. He quickly pulled Rachel into his arms, holding her protectively. Rachel had not expected me to strike either. Her large eyes welled up with tears that were on the verge of spilling as she buried her face into Jeremy's chest, rubbing against him pitifully. Finally, her tears landed on his clothes. Maybe the sight of his mistress crying burned him because Jeremy turned to me with a look of pure rage, looking as though he could devour me whole. Fiona, you're nothing but a lunatic. Do you think you're even remotely comparable to... Shut up, Jeremy. His father grabbed Jeremy by the arm, cutting him off before he could finish. His mother quickly stepped in, dragging Rachel out of Jeremy's embrace. Miss Stevens, this is a family matter. You have no business being here. Please leave. Rachel shot Jeremy a glance, then tilted her chin smugly at me without saying another word. She turned on her heels and walked away. The sharp clicks of her high heels echoed throughout the hall. However, Jeremy was not done. Are you happy now, making a scene on our wedding day? What man would marry a crazy woman like you after this? Jeremy, shut your mouth. His mother stepped in, trying to pull him back, but he shoved her hand aside. Mom, stay out of it. There won't be a wedding today. I'm going to teach this woman a lesson. Well, was that not convenient? I had been waiting for the chance to teach him a lesson. Tooted. I slammed my hand on the table, standing tall. You're right, there won't be a wedding. But the lesson? That's for me to teach you. Ignoring the gasps and whispers around me, I turned and strode toward the host standing awkwardly in front of the large screen. The poor host did not know where to look. He instinctively stepped aside as he blinked nervously. Ms. Learn, what do you need? I did not answer him. Instead, I went straight to the computer connected to the screen, logged into my account, and uploaded a video. Then I hit play. Yes, I had screen recorded it that day. Rachel's smug face immediately filled the screen. Her grin dripped with arrogance. Her voice rang out, echoing throughout the silent hall. The groom's pretty great too. I tried him out for you as well. Where's Jeremy? Oh, Mr. Stone is working late, of course. He's very busy. Rachel, come help me with my back. You're just trying to trick me into showering with you, you naughty man. The video continued until Rachel's gleeful, shameless face finally disappeared from the screen. A few more seconds of silence followed. One could have heard the pin drop. Smack! You jerk! Mr. Stone's slap was so forceful that it echoed through the room. After delivering the blow, he slumped slightly as he hunched his shoulders in defeat. For a brief moment, I felt a pang of sadness. I knew I could no longer maintain a relationship with those two kind elders. I turned toward Jeremy and said in a cold and unwavering voice, Jeremy, I didn't betray this wedding. You did. You were the scumbag who rolled around with your mistress on our wedding bed. And do you really want me to describe all that liquid on the sheets? You really do play dirty, don't you?